Think your lashes have hit their limit? Discover limitless length and full volume with Maybelline Sky High Mascara. The Flex Tower brush bends to volumize and extend every single lash from root to tip. And the lightweight bamboo-infused formula makes lashes feel weightless. Now in 8 bold shades so you can take your lashes to new heights every day. Visit Maybelline.com to shop Sky High Mascara now.
Every who down in Who Newville liked the holidays a ton. But where to get great prices on gifts, they had no idea. None. They searched and they searched for great gifts under $25. Gifts for spouses and friends and even their toddlers. When suddenly one who shouted, Walmart has what you want, knowing they have Lego, Tree Hut, and low prices to flaunt. So they enjoy the holiday season as Who's often do. Cheering and shouting, Walmart has incredible gifts. Who knew? Find gifts they'll love under $25 at Walmart.
God, your weight. What happened?
Bee sting. Evidently, I'm allergic. Almost killed me. But the guy at the emergency room says the swelling will go down. I hope. And I'll have a Caesar, no dressing. And one of those homemade cookies, the warm chocolate chip, no nuts. And a little slice of cheesecake, creme brulee, and hot fudge sundae. Extra hot fudge. On the side.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to our season 2 finale episode of The Santa Claus. And I know we've teased about this before, but, this is a movie, was it 92, 93, something like that?
94.
Definitely 94, there you go. Definitely not in our normal wheelhouse. But we thought, you know what? It's the Christmas season. Let's just give the people what they want, a tight storyline without the same 4 people in the movie.
With really great body horror.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So this is The Santa Claus with Timothy Allen.
Yes.
And I'm excited to talk about it. With me, of course, as always, is my co-host, Matt. Matt, welcome back, my friend. You're looking very festive today.
Season's greetings to all. And to all a good night.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that's it. We're done. That's the show.
Yeah, bye.
So I talked about it in the last episode. This movie I don't like. I dislike this movie. However,
okay,
I will say coming into it, watching it from I don't know, not sitting on the couch and having my wife go, should we watch the Santa Claus? And my kid goes, yeah. And I go, I don't know, whatever, dude. I don't care. And I'm on my phone half the time. It's not as bad as I thought it was. I could see it for what it's worth. Maybe it's the therapy finally kicking in, but it's not as terrible as I thought it was. But I have a list of issues to deal with because it just doesn't. I don't know. I like a tight story. I don't like a plot hole, and I don't know, my brain chemistry. I have to pick at the plot holes until it unravels a little bit, and that's just what I have to do. So. I apologize in advance.
I think that this movie would have benefited from just a few more lines of dialogue because it's a lot of show and not tell. And what I mean by that specifically is he's doing all these things, but there's no acknowledgement that he's neglecting these other areas of his life as he's transitioning into Santa.
Correct.
And that's always bothering me. Like the whole movie, this really bothers me.
Well, here's the thing about that. And I have the notes as they go through the story. So I don't want to get too far afield, but I didn't even fully understand the plot until today when I just chugged the ending real fast. And I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't get that I got that he's now Santa, but I didn't understand that was his life now. Yeah. I didn't get it. And so I'm like, okay. And then I had a whole thought about how this movie could have been done better. But 2 things to say, and then I think we should probably jump into it. One, I fully understand how ridiculous it is for me, a grown adult male, to be wanting to poke holes in a movie about a man turning into Santa Claus. I understand that that's ridiculous on the surface. And no, I don't care. It's not going to stop me. Number 2, this is clearly a vehicle for Tim Allen and, his kind of brand of humor. And you're right. There is a lot of show, not tell, which is what you're supposed to do in script writing, but it's not it's not that kind of like descriptive show, or it kind of is. It's just they're little vignettes into what's going on. They're not altogether unpleasant, but they do leave you sort of bereft of having seen a fulfilling story, in my opinion. On occasion, there's a couple of little gems that I picked out as well that I thought were really nice and kind of beautiful. So we'll get to those too.
I think that's the thing, is like that this movie doesn't do a great job of explaining to you, no, this is what you do now. Like, you don't get to move back and forth, you know,
Right.
like,
Yeah,
like it says it. I understand that it says it in the clause. It literally talks about in the clause, like, you give up your old identity and become this character in perpetuity. But it's like, it's hard of a concept to understand, because, you know, you don't really, you see him get fatter, but you're also like, they keep calling him Scott and everything, but it's like, no, you have to understand in this movie, it is kind of a weird body horror, like, because he becomes the Santa Claus. He is Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And it's funny because they later in the Santa Clauses, which is a show that we can talk about later at the show at the end, but they establish at a point where it's like, okay, he no longer has the power of Santa Claus. He is now Scott Calvin again. And they start calling him Scott and everything.
Oh my
like
God.
so it is a physical transformation where he becomes the Claus.
I love it.
So
I love
if
it.
you, yeah, it's wild. It's deeper than the movie, I think, gives itself credit for.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, man, overall, I came out, you know, it's fine. It's a fine film. It's a fine Christmas movie.
I like it.
You can pick nits on anything, but yeah, it's, you know, it's good. It's all right. I was telling my wife and my kid, I was like, yeah, we have to watch this stinker. She's like, oh, can we watch it with you? I'm like, you're not going to want to watch it with me because I'm going to be pausing it and writing it, and you guys are going to hate it. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. Because they love it. They're out there watching Elf, which is another stinker of a movie.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah,
You just don't want anyone to like us, huh? Okay.
No.
Cool.
I'm the jerk. You're the nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like those movies fine.
I'm the Saja boys.
Here's the thing. I've always been a sucker for specifically Christmas stuff. You know, like I've always been fine with like a sweet plot, a nice storyline, like a good wrap up. Like I can take the hard stuff too, but like I like that. And as I get older, I find myself actually being more genuine. And so when somebody's trying to genuinely make something nice, even if it's not great, if the intent is to be kind, I'm okay with it. I like it.
Yeah.
Also,
I mean, it could come from just the fact that I'm just a judgmental jerk.
Yeah,
and
no,
that
I
could
agree.
be a lot of it too.
It's
like,
the years of coal in your shoes. I get it.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, you guys get stuff in your stockings. That's wild. But like I for me, these movies, and this can be a good segue into it. Like it's a Christmas episode. We're probably just gonna yap for a while. But
Sure.
like I can take everything wrapped up with a bow, pretty at the end of the story. I can take that. I can deal with that. The cheese factor, if it's done well, or if it's not jarring, or like the end of, for example, the end of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Oh,
right?
I love it.
Yeah, where spoiler alert, where all the cops are drinking eggnog and everyone's singing Christmas carols, and he's outside and he stares off in the distance and the song play. Perfect ending. I think that's great. But like, because who would ever do that, right? There's no the SWAT team in the world that would sit there and just like party with the family that they almost abused.
That's pretty low, mister.
Yeah, and like, so I think because that premise of that movie was so insane to begin with, but also slightly realistic. But then you have the Santa Claus, which is wholly ridiculous, not at all realistic in the slightest. And then you have just these kind of weird tie-up moments at which we'll get to. And it's just kind of like, I don't like, either you're going to go weird, stay weird.
Yeah.
But the Christmas Vacation is good because it's kind of realistic, but with weird highlights. I don't know. I think there's a mix between the two, where you can make the unbelievable acceptable or rejectable.
I don't know. See, I'm going to say this though. So this happened.
Okay.
I had, when I worked at this one place, my first boss, he told me that I looked like the guy who becomes Santa Claus in that one of those stop motion shorts. Like, I think it's like not Year Without a Santa Claus. I can't remember, but he said I looked like that. So I've actually been told that I look like Santa Claus, or that I'm going to, like for the last like 20 years. And I was at a birthday party with my kids the other day, and we were at this bounce place, and 2 children under 2 years old, for no reason, completely independent, different sides of the building, like came over and sought me out to play with me. Like,
all right. So that's a red flag.
I'm just minding my business. So it's like, but it's funny because we were reviewing this movie, and I'd just seen the Santa Claus like a couple days earlier to get ready.
Yeah.
And so that thing where the kids are following him, Scott Calvin, around because he's got that aura, like that's a thing. That to me is like, so that's a real thing, man.
That is funny.
It's wild.
I will say that. That is good. All right. Well, let's get into this movie, huh?
Yeah.
Where the hell this come from?
Look here, Dad. The Rose Such a Ladder Company.
Huh?
Out by the roof, there's a Rose Such a Ladder. Just like the poem.
Just like the poem. Charlie, come on down from there. Charlie?
All right. We open this movie with a really nice dolly shot. I like the opening for this movie.
Yo,
we're following,
me too.
Yeah, we're following a man in a Santa suit as he walks down a hallway. He peels off, and the camera keeps pushing into a large atrium, I guess is the word. I don't know. Where a grand office party is in full swing. It's like a courtyard, office building courtyard with like multiple levels, and there's just a tile floor.
Oh, yeah. Just very 90s. It's awesome.
Very 90s, yeah. Each floor has some action going on. There's dancing, chatting, etc. And I've realized that I've never been to a party like this. Is this like just a pure 90s thing with the giant classic office party on Christmas Eve? And there's multiple people dancing and drinking and having a good, like, you know, because you see it in Scrooged to a certain extent. You see it in a lot of these 80s, 90s flicks. And I just.
Yeah. I mean, Die Hard. This is how Die Hard would have gone if the guys hadn't shown up.
That's true, man. That's absolutely true. Have you ever been to a party like that where just I've been to company parties, but they were very different.
No, because I never worked in a place like that. Like I worked downtown. I worked for a hotel downtown in Portland. But we always had the party at the hotel because we had the facilities. So no, we never went to a big, weird, like glass atrium building like that.
I would love to know if that is a thing. If anybody out there has ever been to a party like the opening to a Santa Claus, please let me know. So it's here we're introduced to our main character, Scott Calvin, played by Tim Allen. He's not on screen for a full 2 seconds before he dislocates his jaw in that signature Tim Allen way he has, you know, where he looks kind of like a snake trying to eat something. He's just walking around. It's like a kind of a grin, but just giving himself an underbite. Even though it's a short scene, you get a good feel for the kind of character Scott is. He's a high-powered executive, used to getting his own way, regardless of how it makes other people feel, as demonstrated by him literally interrupting someone on his team who was about to give a speech, taking the mic from her mid-sentence and dismissing pretty much everything she was about to say.
Right.
She seems kind of used to it because she smiles at him. He's like, okay, whatever. But it's really awkward because, number one, you know, he just rips the microphone away from this poor woman. And she was about to say, like, we have a lot of people on this team to thank. And and he's like, we don't got a whole lot of time for that, folks. We're going to go party. So that would be dumb to say all the names of everybody, of all you people around here.
But he did have a moment to like call out his boss for having a lady on his lap. I like that. Like, yeah, screw all this stuff that you're going to say, but like, hey, look at that guy over there. He's getting some tail.
Yeah, his secretary is sitting on his lap, and they're like, whoa.
Jiminy Christmas.
Yeah. A bit later, Scott is driving through his neighborhood at night, heading home from the party, and every house has Christmas lights and decorations up. There are even people having snowball fights, playing in the snow, walking around, and I'm like, dude, how late is it? This man is leaving a nighttime company Christmas party. So it has to be at least like 8 p.m., right? If not later. And again, not having grown up where it snows, is this a normal thing that human people do? Play in the snow late at night?
It just depends on what kind of, like, how late you're up and like how recent it's been snow. Like my kids will do that. Like, and not at night, like at 9 o'clock, but those were older kids.
Yeah. And like families, like dads and stuff.
Yeah. And so like, if it just depends, like if it's getting close to Christmas and because that was Christmas Eve, right? So they probably had people in their house. It was probably getting loud and the kids are like, dude, it's hot in here. I got to get out of here.
Okay.
You know, we used to do stuff like that. We're just like, dude, we got Aunt Becky and she's wailing out on, on Silent Night. I got to get the hell out of here.
All right. That's good. See, these are the context clues that I need because I don't know. I'm California boy. I'm like, oh, what is that white stuff?
Yeah. No. We didn't get like down in Albany, we didn't get very much snow, but like it would get freaking hot in those parties. Like,
oh God,
when you got a whole house full.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You got to go. You got to get outside.
He pulls up to his house to find his ex-wife, his kid, and her new husband, I guess, or maybe boyfriend. I don't really know.
They weren't married yet, I don't believe.
Okay.
Her and Neil were going to be married soon.
Okay. All right. That's Neil, and he's played by the great Judge Reinhold. I wrote Jude Reinhold. I don't know why. Autocorrect. So they're in their car waiting for Scott to arrive home. Scott bullies her into heading inside the house for a bit where, his little Tim Allen signature wit comes out.
All right, let's go.
Bye, Charlie.
Bye, Neil.
Oh, sorry, man. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, do you want to come in for a minute?
Neil's waiting in the car, so.
Why doesn't he come in?
Because Daddy says you'll just end up saying something snotty.
Not necessarily. Could be rude or sarcastic. Whatever it takes.
See? I gotta go.
Come on. Come on. Christmas Eve. Just for a minute. Watch those steps. They're real slippery. Told you. So.
Oh.
You going to your mom's for dinner?
Actually, we're gonna be with Neil's family.
Christmas at the Pound. Oh!
Meow. There aren't that many presents over there.
Well, that's because Santa isn't here yet.
Neil doesn't believe in Santa.
Well, Neil's head comes to a point.
He's smart. He's a doctor.
He's not a doctor, he's a psychiatrist.
I just want to.
Did that jerk tell Charlie there was no Santa Claus?
What? No. Oh, Charlie came home from school the other day in tears because some big kid told him there was no such thing as Santa. And Neil, well, he sat him down and
He told him that there was a Santa Claus.
Well, all he said was that Santa was more like a feeling, more like a state of mind than a person.
Kind of like Neil. And who gave you permission to tell Charlie there's no Santa Claus? I think if we're going to destroy our son's illusions, I should be a part of it.
Yeah, but you're never around, are you, Scott?
Oh, please.
Listen, all we are trying to do is give Charlie a firm grasp on reality.
That's a good idea. You don't want kids running around using their imagination.
Neil's head comes to a point.
It just makes me think of somebody with like a pencil head point.
Yeah. I didn't think of, or I didn't, I didn't understand the Christmas at the Pound comment.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think, okay, that's weird, but all right.
Because they said they were going to see Neil's family.
Yeah.
So like Neil's mom is a dog, I guess. Is the bit.
And they just, I don't know. Yeah, it's weird, man. I found this part of Tim Allen's character to be really interesting, especially based on what we've seen already, right? Like he's all in on the Santa train and really makes it a point to have his kid believe in Santa for as long as possible. But he doesn't even try to care about anyone else's feelings in any other capacity other than Charlie still believing in Santa. I found that juxtaposition, or maybe I use that word too much, but I found that strange. It was a really weird character trait.
Yeah, it was very odd because he did seem like he did not have respect for anybody else's opinions or time. Like how he's driving back to his own house and he's like, oh man, this is a big pile up, boy, howdy. And it's like, there's no one on the road and everything. But yeah, the idea that they are telling Charlie there's no Santa Claus when he himself like later kind of confesses he doesn't believe in it. It's an interesting sticking point, and you kind of wonder if there's supposed to be some subtext that's like the writers had thought of that was kind of coming out in the script, where it's like, you know, that's why it sort of is going to be such a good Santa, because he doesn't want to spoil it for other people. Like, he doesn't like that he acts the way he is. Yeah. He doesn't like that he knows as much as he does about the world and how people can be.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't know. I just chalk it up to bad writing, but that's just.
Well, it's like, well, also why he doesn't like Neil, because Neil's always like, oh, you know, we can get through this. And he's just like, he doesn't like, you know, that Neil knows so much about people and glosses over their bad habits. I guess, I don't know.
Yeah, it's odd for sure.
Yeah, because he hates therapy and he hates people destroying children's imaginations.
Yeah. As Charlie hugs his mom goodbye, he asks her if he has to stay there for Christmas. So nobody really likes Scott, I guess. I mean, he's divorced.
That made me sad.
Yeah, clearly Neil doesn't like him and Scott doesn't like Neil, and Charlie does not want to stay there. But also that line when Charlie goes, "There's not a lot of presents under the tree. I will backhand knuckle sandwich." What are you talking about? How dare you? Be a little more grateful, you turd. There's like 5 gifts under there too.
Yeah.
I would have been thrilled with that amount of gifts.
I know. Well, it's not like he has to share them with anybody. Like,
right.
It's not like half those gifts are for someone else. Like, anything under there is yours.
Yeah. So clearly nobody likes Scott, not even his kid. And Scott is woefully underprepared for the night. And I guess we do kind of get a glimpse as to why people are maybe don't like Scott, but maybe feel let down by him. You know, he's never around, but he's so underprepared for doing a Christmas Eve dinner with his kid that he has no Christmas dinner ready at all. He like burns the whole scene where he burns the turkey. It's a whole funny thing, but he tries, absolutely fails. So the obvious next choice is to go out to eat at Denny's, which I thought was a pretty funny scene.
Yeah.
All right. Denny's. It's always open.
I don't want to eat here.
What are you talking about? Everybody likes Denny's. It's an American institution.
Are you with Hatsutashi?
No.
Dad burnt the turkey.
Oh, yeah. This way. Come on. Right over there?
Thank you.
There we go.
Burn a turkey?
Coffee?
No, thank you, Judy. What do you say we start out with cold glasses of a delicious seasonal favorite, eggnog?
I don't like eggnog.
We're out.
Coffee, decaf.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, chocolate milk, please.
We're out.
Plain milk's fine.
Okay.
At least we know they got hot apple pie.
We did.
Mm-hmm. This is nice.
Just sitting in the so in the Denny's, they're split. The areas are split. One is packed full of what I presume are Japanese businessmen.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not celebrating Christmas. They're away from their families or whatever. So they're just they're yakking it up over there at the Denny's. And then the other half is just divorced dads with their kids on Christmas Eve who have burnt dinner. There's like 2 or 3 other people in there. It's pretty funny.
This is one of those things that sticks in my craw is like, I understand it's 1994, but this whole thing where it's like, I'm just a dumb dad. I tried to make dinner, couldn't do it.
Yeah. I need to fix a wall. I have a screw and a hammer. So there we go. We're doing this.
Yeah, this stuff pisses me off so much just because like I make dinner every night. I am dinner man. And so it makes me annoyed because I know that there's guys who can like overhaul an entire transmission in their garage, but like they can't make a sandwich. Like they just don't know how, can't do it.
I think at that point, those people refuse. Because like I've done enough for the day.
Yeah, I guess.
Like everything needs to be fair for those people, and it's not. It's never going to be fair. Sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 60-40, sometimes it's 20-80. Doesn't matter. You just got to do it.
That bummed me out though. That whole scene where it's like the couple of dads with the tucked in shirts, right? Just like with the kids. Yeah, I don't know how to make dinner. I got the kids with me.
I screwed it up.
God.
Also, you burning how do you burn a turkey? How do you burn
Just
a turkey?
look at it. There's like
turkey.
Unless you're using gasoline in the oven. I want to get the outside real crisp, so spray it
Leave
down.
it on and go to bed.
Yeah.
And this is kind of the theme in the first act, right? Scott is a bad dad who tries to be a good dad, and he has the right intentions, but he's bad at being a good dad.
Well, yeah, because I think he'd like to be other places. Like and I get it. Yeah. I sympathize with it. He's got a lot on his plate as far as like wanting to come up with new stuff for next year. Like they just had a huge hit with that doll at his company. Yeah. And, I can understand that he's the kind of person who likes working. He enjoys it. And that's where his mind is 90% of the time. And so it's really hard for him to just lock in and be in that moment right there because he's always wanting to be the next step.
Yeah, and so he is trying, but I'm not sure that it comes off as like easily or effortlessly. Him trying, right? Because for me, he just seems like two different people, and maybe it's like that Tim Allen personality that clashes with the writing, but it seems fractured to me. Yeah, where he's like, acidic and biting, but then also, hey, I'm gonna go and do whatever it takes for my kid to have a good meal on Christmas. Not thinking about look, Denny's is the only place open, right? So he's going there because they got to eat. That's a good dad. At least, it's like, I don't know, make you a sandwich or there's some meat salvageable or whatever. Like he's doing the thing, but it just doesn't mash well with what we've seen before. I don't know. It was weird.
No, I get it. It's like because to adults he sort of comes off as like completely sarcastic. Even with Judy, poor Judy's just trying to work the rounds. She's got the Japanese guys yelling and everything, and he goes. Oh, Judy? He's like,
that's the classic dad. My dad used to do that garbage when we'd go out to eat too, or he thought it was really cute to like call the waitresses by their first name. It's like, come on. Yeah. This poor lady's like, whatever, dude.
I know, but you're right. It's because it is Tim Allen specifically, and he has that home improvement kind of thing going. Yeah. Even when it seems like he's trying to be cute, like I'm sure he wasn't trying to be insulting or talking down to her, reading her name tag,
Right.
But it's how it came off. It's how the scene read because of him.
Yes, and here's the thing. I'm telling you, next time we ever do a podcast, it's just gonna be called "Here's the Thing" because that's all I say.
Here's the thing.
But here's the thing. Researching Tim Allen, because I do have one of my favorite stories about Tim Allen. I'll tell at the end of your segment probably. Yeah. And but people online, hands down, anybody who's ever met Tim Allen, nobody likes him. He's just a jerk. He's just an idiot. Like this one lady told the story. She goes, "Yeah, I actually bought a house from his realtor. It was his old house, right? And I happened to be working in LA and I ran across him and I was just like, hey, I bought your house. It's my dream house. I love that. I love everything about it. Like, it's so cool what you did with it and whatever." And she's like, yeah. And he stood there and he thought about it. He goes, oh yeah, that place is a dump. And then he turns around and walks away. And she goes, what an ass. And I'm going, okay, he's probably doing the negative thing just to be funny. But it's like, can you just be a genuine person and say, oh, that's really great. Thanks. Even if you don't care. Yeah. Like, I've had a lot of people come up to me and tell me dumb stories. I don't care. But I go, hey, thanks for telling me that. I'm glad that you like the show or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. Just be a human being. But I think that is his personality on or off the screen. It feels like, it sounds like. So therefore, this is just, it doesn't mash with the writing style, I think.
No, I would agree with that. I think you found it.
Yeah. Night falls and Charlie's fast asleep when up on the roof there arose such a clatter that Charlie sprang from his bed to see what was the matter. And the sound design is great here because in movies where kids hear Santa Claus on the roof, you never hear him like making noise, right? Save for the thuds of him walking or landing or, whatever, right? It's always just like kind of a clump. But here you kind of can just make out Santa's voice as he's talking to the reindeer or saying, whoa, or whatever. And I think it's just really good design choice. It makes it more realistic, I think, than just the standard. There's one thud and then that's it. You hear this, there's a physical man on the roof of the physical house that people are in.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I like it.
Anyway, Charlie wakes his dad up, who heads outside in his boxers and a coat to investigate. Looking on the roof, he sees a man in a Santa suit, so he does the natural thing, calling out, "Hey, you!" This spooks Santa, who slips on the icy roof, slides all the way down on his ass, launches off the roof, and lands flat on his back on the ground with a very dense and bassy thud. Scott digs through Santa's pockets to find some ID because obviously he doesn't think it's the real Santa.
Who is this guy?
And he finds a very smart-looking business card, one that would even make Patrick Bateman stand up and take notice. The front reads, Santa Claus, and the back says, if something should happen to me, put on the suit and the reindeer will know what to do, or something like that.
Yeah, put
Charlie
on
and Scott gaze up to the roof and see the sleigh and the reindeer, and Charlie looks back at the body lying there on the ground, only Santa has disappeared, leaving behind his red velvety suit. So the two boys climb up on the roof, and once they get up on the roof, Charlie climbs into the sleigh, and Scott steps in it to put the suit inside and then to get Charlie out of there. But as soon as he shouts at the kid, he goes, "Let's go!" The reindeer take off, which kind of breaks the setup in the card, right? Because the card literally says, put the suit on, and then the reindeer will do the rest. He doesn't have the suit on. So anybody who can just step in the sleigh and say, let's go, and they just take off to the next house, whatever.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like I said, I'm a jerk.
No, you are correct. I think that I don't know if it has to be in a certain order, right? Because later on the card,
he puts it on. Yeah,
it does say that something about putting on the coat, getting in the sleigh, starting to do the stuff. It's like it's all. I don't think you have to do it ABC. I think it can be CBA. Or
so
any variation.
The reindeer took off because they knew eventually he would put the suit on.
Yes, I think as long as it's all satisfied under the clause.
Okay, got it. The reindeer take him all around the neighborhood, landing on the roof of another house. Here, Scott gets a lesson in Santa 101 from Charlie.
Get the bag of toys.
And do what?
Go down the chimney.
Down the chimney. You want me to take the toys down the chimney into a strange house in my underwear?
No. Gotta put the suit on first.
You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna get out of here because this whole thing is stupid.
How come everything I want to do is stupid?
I didn't say that. Freezing my nubs off out here. You want me to get the Santa costume, which is great. Santa costume. This thing, you never know where it's been. 1,000 malls. Well, I hope you're happy, Comet. Hope you're happy. But most of all, I hope the guy that lives here is a tailor. Nice coat. Well, how do I look? Nice?
You forgot the sash.
You're right. This completes the ensemble. All right. Got my boots. Now I've got the suit on. How am I supposed to know what to leave?
Maybe there's a list.
A list? How silly of me. Of course there's a list. I'm okay.
Look! We're flying!
It's okay, I'm used to it. I lived through the 60s. Whoa.
That will be relevant at a later time. So, he puts on the Santa suit, grabs the bag, Santa's sack, and then it floats him up, and then it kind of squishes him down and drops him down the chimney.
Yeah.
And there you go. I think the magic here is pretty good. The bag levitating Scott, into the air. as he descends through the chimney, the fireplace widens magically to allow him, kind of entry, which is cool.
Yeah.
And the thing I do like about movies about Santa and people becoming Santa and whatever, because there are several, is the imagination of the writer as to what the trigger is for the effect of the person getting into the house, right? And I think this Santa Claus does a really good job where, at one point they're going through like a radiator vent and like then it transforms into a whole, chimney and then it shrinks back down. I don't know, just kind of like neat, kind of clever.
Yeah, I think this was the first movie that I had ever seen that introduced the idea of like Santa's magic makes a chimney. It's kind of like, even though no one's supposed to see it, I love that it's so theatrical. It's for no one. He's not supposed to be seen.
Right.
In this movie, they play it a little looser where he's talking to everybody, this guy.
Bro, I'm surprised he didn't just, take a billboard out.
Right. But I do like that. I like the idea of you have this magic that isn't just like, oh, you just, because some movies like, he just like appears, he's like flashy and just shows up like a teleporter. And I like in this one, it really is really whimsical. It's like, it opens up and it makes this nice decorative fireplace. Even like the radiator, it opens up and the pot has its own shelf.
There's crown molding around it.
It's kind of sick.
Yeah.
I like it.
Scott, it's assumed, now completes Santa's toy delivery run, delivering prezzies to the rest of the East Coast.
Yeah.
The reindeer take Scott and Charlie then to the North Pole. Apparently, the East Coast is the last place on their stop, I guess. I don't know. Where they're greeted by a child elf who activates a lift, lowering the sleigh and Scott and Charlie down into Santa's workshop. And it's here that we get a look at how the toy empire is ran. Child-looking elves, and it comes out, they're children, but they're like 1,500 years old or whatever, which is kind of funny.
I got shoes older than you.
Child elves running, prancing, dancing, moving things. General OSHA violations abound.
Yeah.
Scott does his best to get some answers in his very adult ways, only to be thwarted by Christmas elf magic.
Look, I am not Santa Claus.
Did you or did you not read the card?
Yeah, I read the card.
Then you're the new Santa. In putting on the hat and jacket, you accepted the contract.
What contract?
The card in the Santa suit. You said you read it, right? So when you put on the suit, he fell subject to the Santa Claus. Here.
The Santa Claus? Oh, you mean the guy that fell off my roof?
No. Not Santa Claus the person. Santa Claus the clause.
What?
Look, you're a businessman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. A clause, as in the last line of a contract. You got the card? Okay, look. The Santa Claus. In putting on the suit and entering the sleigh, the wearer waives any and all rights to any previous identity, real or implied, and fully accepts the duties and responsibilities of Santa Claus in perpetuity until such time that wearer becomes unable to do so by either accident or design.
What does that mean?
It means you put on the suit, you're the big guy.
It's ridiculous. I never put on a suit just a...
Try to understand this. Let me explain something to you, okay? Toys have to be delivered. I'm not gonna do it. It's not my job. I'm just an elf. It's Santa's job, but Santa fell off the roof. Your roof. You read the card, you put on the suit that clearly falls under the Santa Claus, so now you're Santa, okay?
A question.
What?
When can I get out of here?
Well, there you go. I love the kids going, ooh. That's good. It's cute.
I think we've all been there where we've turned around and said try to understand this. That happens to me when my kids, I think for the 5th time, have said, so are we going to this thing, but tomorrow? Is it tomorrow that we're going? Try to understand. I said Wednesday.
So the whole time through this scene, the elves are making toys in this giant toy factory, even though it's December 26th and Scott had just finished delivering gifts to the world.
You never stop.
You never stop. Can't stop,
No.
won't stop. And that's, kind of sad, I suppose. But in
They
every
like
Christmas movie, it's the same. Like, there's no day off. You don't get a day
No.
off.
But if you tell them, hey, we're not making toys today, they get all sad.
Yeah, they go, I want to make a toy. It's my life's work.
It is. It's what they're here for. These elves train.
That's
hard
right, they do.
to get to where they are.
Bernard is the other voice that you heard from the other side. He's the head elf.
Yeah.
And Bernard tells Scott that he is now Santa. You heard him read the clause, and he's due back at the North Pole on Thanksgiving. He has like 8 or 11 months to get your affairs in order, and you're due back on Thanksgiving. Scott still doesn't quite believe that everything he's seeing is real. He thinks it's a dream or something like that. He doesn't really know. But as Scott and Charlie lay down to sleep in Santa's bed, which is kind of weird, hopefully they change the sheets, Scott wakes up in his own bed to the wonderful sounds of Charlie screaming at him to get up and look at all the presents. Charlie's mom picks him up, and he proceeds to tell her and Neil all about their trip to the North Pole, how Scott is the new Santa Claus, and it goes about as well as you'd think. At show and tell, a couple scenes later, Charlie brings his dad up in front of the class to tell them all how he's Santa Claus. And after a disastrous time in the school principal's office, Scott sits Charlie down at the zoo of all places and tells him to knock it all off, that they didn't really go to the North Pole, that it was all a dream, and to forget about it. And as they leave the zoo, they're walking down a path, and a trail of reindeer follow behind them, which I thought was a cute moment for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't know many zoos that have 8 reindeer, but there you go. That was it.
Well, what's funny is I never noticed when I was a kid until now. There's a zookeeper waving his arms trying to get to them. They'd broken out.
They escaped, man. They want to follow this boy.
Going, hey, get back here, hey! It's pretty awesome.
So Scott arrives at Charlie's house to pick him up, and we hear Charlie schooling Neil on how the whole Santa whizzing around the world in one night thing works.
Where is he?
Well, he could be in his room, jumping up and down on his bed, wearing a red hat and galoshes.
I don't care what Neil's doing. Where's Charlie?
Oh, I see. Well, if you can't be Father of the Year, why not be Father Christmas, huh?
Charlie, it's just not logical. How can one man, in one night, visit all the children of the world?
Not everyone celebrates Christmas. And I think there's some sort of time continuum that breaks down what Santa's in the sleigh.
What about fireplaces? A lot of people don't have them. How does Santa visit those people?
He turns into Jello and the fireplace kind of appears and he goes through it like this.
What about the reindeer? Have you ever seen a reindeer fly?
Yes.
Well, I haven't.
Have you ever seen $1 million?
No.
Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Hey, Neil. Howdy, sport.
Hi, Dad.
You want to take a walk? I want to talk to you.
Sure. I'll get my coat.
Good. Hustle up.
Scott, can I have a minute?
Sure.
I think Charlie is conflicted at the moment.
Wow. Really? Whew, boy. Appreciate your analysis. I really do. Boy, you got more important things to worry about, you know? Like where are you going to get more sweaters after the circus pulls out of town?
Scott, I mean, you're not listening. We are very concerned about this.
Concerned about what?
If Charlie's spending time with you is the best thing for him.
Damn, dude, got him. So, for reference, Neil is wearing basically a Cosby sweater.
Yeah. Which they never make a joke about once.
The Cosby sweater? Yeah.
Yeah, they never make a connection directly with Bill Cosby, who would have still been relevant at the time.
Yeah, relevant and not poison.
Yeah. So it's kind of wild that at no point do they make a direct like, hey, what's up? You know, like Bill Cosby called once a sweater back or something, just something weird joke like that.
Probably because they were on a different network. You know what I mean? Sounds like a Disney thing to do.
What bothers me about this, though, is that when you look back on it, so in 1994, this mom was upset because her son was in his room, that he had created crafts on his own, and that he was playing make-believe, and he was not screaming 6'7", and he did not have a tablet or 17 open. Like, she was like, oh man, this is upsetting that he's reenacting something kids do all the time, pretending to be Santa Claus.
That he thinks his dad is Santa Claus, and we can't just get over it. And they are very obsessed. Well, and I think that's a lot of the influence of Neil, which is why in the beginning, and I get to it a little bit later, but like Neil in the beginning, Neil seems like an unlikable character, like he's against Scott. But then he kind of like shifts to the end. I don't know. I thought that was odd too. Like, why do we care so much?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I get it from Neil and the mom's sort of point of view long term, I guess, like, because they're so stuck in reality. But it's like, one of the things that bothers me about this movie, and I won't get into a whole thing, is just that you can't understand the concept of time. They really don't explain what time of the year these different things are happening. It all has to be context clues. Okay, well, there's no snow anymore, and he's playing soccer, so it must be spring-ish. This is happening, and this is happening, so it must be
spring, summer.
But it's like, how far from Christmas is he pretending to be Santa Claus with the reindeer?
Right. Yeah.
Are we talking May? Then all right. I guess
dude.
Maybe that's a little worrisome. But if we're talking like January, February, like, come on, man, that magic is still there.
Right. So after they take the walk in the park, Scott finally tells Charlie just to keep the whole Santa thing a secret, which I don't know why he didn't do in the first place. But anyway, whatever. Yeah. Cool. That's over with. Nothing could go wrong again. Correct? Like that's it. The cap is on the well. It's fine, right?
We're good.
The next scene, we see Scott waking up wearing jammies, which he said he never does earlier on in the movie, but I'm going to stop picking nits, like I said. And he's shocked by what he sees in the mirror. A week's worth of beard growth and about 30 pounds around his midsection. As he jumps off the scale, it reads 192. And I, as a 6'5" man weighing 224 pounds, am pissed off.
Me too.
He's like, oh my God! He like jumps off disgusted with his pig self while laying in slop, rolling around like a fat pig. And I'm going like, I don't know. I mean, that seems reasonable.
I know. Dude, I was like, I would kill to be 192. But I love it. So 192 apparently in 1994 is like, oh, you roll off the bed, you have a big fart. You do a big gross old man fart.
Right, dude. I want to know. Hold on a second. I'm gonna do some dumb stuff right here.
I would almost guarantee that fart was the exact same fart that Comet had done earlier on the roof. Same sound effect.
I want to know. Okay, for a person who's 5'10", so Tim Allen is 5'10". A healthy weight range is roughly 132 to 167.
Yeah.
So I guess he is, and BMI has been, kind of shown to be irrelevant now, but still in the 90s. So I could see that he'd be like, oh my God, if he's supposed to be in the 150s, 160s at the high, right?
Yeah, I could see that, like for his height. But yeah, I'm like 6'1", and I hover around like 225.
Oh hell yeah, dude!
So I was like, but like I don't look like that. Come on, man. Nobody's looking at me going, "Oh, you Santa big."
Yeah, right, dude. But if you lost 6 inches, then maybe they would.
Maybe I guess when you go down, it goes out.
Yeah. At the insistence of his boss, Scott heads to the doctor, where not only has his belly grown in size, but his beard and hair have grown as well. And I'm gonna be honest, his hair is looking really good at this point.
Agreed.
Like it's very combed back, it's very stylized, it's growing in perfectly.
Yeah,
I would be so lucky to have hair like that. The doctor tells him that he seems healthy, and Scott lets him know that he's gained 45 pounds in a week. Typical doctor tells him it's probably a hormonal imbalance or his diet. No blood work or anything like that. Just write his health off. Everything's fine. Thank you very much. Be sure to pay your deductible at the desk before you leave. It's probably something you ate. It's fine. You're good. You're fine. Don't worry about 45 pounds.
$10,000 car right now.
Yeah, dude. A bit later, a knock at the door. It's FedEx with some packages for Scott. Only it's not 2 or 3 or even 4. It's hundreds of red boxes in various sizes delivered by 5 FedEx panel vans. It's the list. the one that Barnabas was going to send, or Balthazar, or whatever his name was, to check it twice, right?
Barabbas. Yeah.
And, again, it's like the boxes are all different sizes. Like there's ones that are very, probably 4 to 5 inches tall, and then ones that are probably 2 feet tall. It's all kind of weirdness. And it's like, and I get it. It's just set dressing, Jason.
Yeah.
Really, really, you need to relax, but I can't.
I know, dude, I lost it because I was thinking about being the production team who had to source all of those different sizes of boxes and order them all.
That's the only thing I think when I see that stuff. That's that's all I think about. It's like, because I want to know, like, it comes from somewhere, and like, wanting to be in that kind of industry. It's like, oh man, that would be a pain in the butt. You probably have to build all those boxes. They're probably just made,
That's what I'm wondering, if they manufactured those, like a company like made them from scratch, or if they somehow found them somewhere, they sourced them, and they're like, well, we're going to need like different sizes. Like it's going to, for visual
it cannot be
reference,
the same size.
We got to stack them. It's got to look like a library.
Things get a bit dark here as Neil thinks Charlie should be taken away from Scott. So they have a meeting in court where Charlie goes into the judge's chambers alone, which factually would never happen in my experience. I mean, I'm not going to go further, but like, can I talk to Charlie alone in my chambers? No, you can't talk to my child alone. Sorry, Your Honor. I apologize, but that's not going to happen. And as Scott runs in late, Charlie bursts out of the office and tells Scott not to worry, that he told the judge everything about him and the North Pole. Friggin' kids, man.
We're good to go, man.
He
understood everything.
Everything. He totally gets that you're really Santa.
I told him about Judy and her hot cocoa recipe, and we're good. Extra chocolate.
Yeah, it's fine. And so now it's kind of our first glimpse, like what you were saying, into how long it's been since Scott has become Santa. I'm assuming 8 or 9 months at this point. Time, she flies.
Well, and on top of that, like that's the hard part about this is it's one thing to have Charlie believe that his dad is Santa, but it's the transmogrification of Scott's body.
That's true.
And so it's laying in this separate, absolutely insane layer, because from an outsider's perspective, he's like, I drugged my son and, put him in a closet and then told him, oh, we were at the North Pole and you met all these elves.
Right.
And then proceeds to get super fat and get a beard and his hair turn white, which I'm assuming that they're assuming he's dying.
Right.
He's dyeing his hair white somehow.
Gotta do the look.
And so from the outside, it's like, dude, this does look ludicrous.
It's super, super suspect. And, also he's wearing more red and green clothes.
Yes.
He's dressing like casual Santa would. And
all the time.
You could definitely get it. He's definitely, consciously or unconsciously, probably subconsciously leaning into the whole Santa vibe when he's picking his, fat boy clothes out.
Yeah. Well, and there's a funny thing that I read where somebody had observed, like when he's in denial about being Santa, he wears black Converse. But then when he finally accepts it, he's wearing red Converse.
Okay.
Like he goes all the way over. And when he's got the red ones on,
I don't know if I would have pitched that. Yeah, that's crazy. Well, of course, you can guess where this is going to go. The judge rules that visitation for Scott has been revoked until the end of the year. Despite the ruling, Scott turns up at Charlie's place wanting to just say goodbye. It's going to be a couple of months apparently before they see each other again. And, that's that. Neil and Charlie's mom leave the room to give them some privacy. And Bernard shows up eating a turkey leg. When it hits me, it's Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Right.
So that night, and this is everything important in this family happens on a holiday. Christmas Eve was when this whole drama started. Now on Thanksgiving, did they just get back from court? I don't know. I don't care anymore. I guess it doesn't really matter.
Again, yeah, that's the problem was court months ago.
Right.
Right. Because it feels like by the time you see Tim Allen again, right, he's in like this beautiful sweater with the reindeers on either side.
Oh, it looks great. It's like a Norwegian style sweater.
Yeah, and his beard game is sick, and he's fully embraced it. Like
Yeah, dude.
he knows he's got to leave. Like that's the one thing is like he hasn't denied it. He's like, well, I wanted to come say goodbye because I am in fact heading to the North Pole to accept this position.
Right.
And it is funny. They don't really give you any time with Scott for him to kind of talk it out with somebody or, you know, that he's struggling with like whether to take on this job. It's just, he just is going to do it. You know,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's a clause. He had to, right? He has no choice.
It's like the clothes change. Well, because the last time he shaved his face and all the beard and everything came back, he goes, "I'm in a lot of trouble."
Wah, wah, wah.
Right, and that's it. That's the last time you hear him emote about his situation.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, it is Thanksgiving, which is why Bernard or Balthazar or Barnabas is there because he told Scott last year that he was due back to the North Pole on Thanksgiving. And he had a line in there that said, haven't you people ever heard of basting when he's eating the turkey leg? Which is, by the way, not the best way to get a juicy bird. And in fact, doesn't actually do anything but delay the cooking process. It doesn't do anything for the moisture, it just browns the skin because I'm an expert. I know these things.
Okay. Then what's, how do you keep the juice in? For us layman's here, who's...
Oh, bro, let me put you on some game, okay? Game. Spatchcock.
That's what I did. I did that 2 years ago.
Bro, it's 2.5, 3 hours. You're done. Juicy bird.
Yeah.
You got to dry brine it first, but that's it. And it's so good.
Do you put it in a bag? You got to put it in a bag though, still, right?
No.
You don't?
No, I don't. I'm not putting it back at all. And also because it's like, you know, the moisture doesn't have time to absorb through the skin into the meat when you're basting it because it just drips down the side. So you're not doing anything.
Yeah, because
the bird just is juicy because the bird is juicy.
I don't remember as much about it, but I remember, yes, 2 years ago I did spatchcock. It was
the best.
Like
it's the best. It's the only way to fly, guys.
I thought I was going to mess it up because I was cutting that backbone.
Oh yeah,
but I did it because you got to put your thumbs in it and really give it that crack. And I was like, dang it. All right.
Yeah. Anyway, Charlie's mom comes back into the room to find Scott and Charlie both gone, along with, Barnaby. Charlie had been begging to go with Scott, so we assume that Scott and Bernard took him along with them to the North Pole, which I thought was a very bold move. Like, and again, it's back to Scott's like lack of empathy for other people.
Yeah.
Where it was okay for him to steal his child, assuming it is Thanksgiving, which I guess it is, until Christmas. A full, what is that, month and a week or something like that? A full 5 weeks. You're going to steal this kid, not tell his mom, pull him out of school. Anyway, we get. I have a whole rant on it later on. I forgot about it. So we get a rockin' little montage here set to a backing track from ZZ Top, I think, of cops searching for Charlie, arresting various men in Santa outfits, Charlie and Scott getting ready for Christmas, and back again. So Scott really just took this child away from his mom, his friends, his school for a whole month and never said a word about it.
Yeah.
It just, and then, so that's what I mean by his personality in this movie is super fractured because he doesn't care, but then he loves Christmas, but he doesn't give a crap about his ex-wife tearing her hair out because her child is missing.
No. And there's the funny thing is they're playing up the comedy so much and the getting ready for Christmas and everything. And like, hey, we've made some upgrades to the sleigh. Hey, we got you fire retardant suits. They're playing up so much comedy that it's like, you don't honestly, as an audience member, feel the gravity of how long Charlie's been gone and what that is like for the people on the other end. It is really hard for this movie to empathize with the people who are not in the know.
Yes. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. There is a nice touch, though, buried in this montage involving Neil. And as I mentioned before, up until this point, it seems like Neil was just kind of being a prig and was more interested in taking something away from Scott than like helping Charlie or like proving to Laura that he's the better partner than Scott is. You know what I mean? That's what it kind of seemed. But we see Neil sitting in a chair and he's holding Charlie's stocking. And then he goes over to the mantle and hangs it up and he kind of pulls back a little bit. And we see it's the only stocking hung on the mantle. I thought it was a real human moment for Neil, and it sort of drives the point home that he actually really does care for Charlie, but it was like the first moment, because every moment that they had together it just seemed like more of a clinical situation where like he's explaining, he's asking Charlie, well, have you ever seen a reindeer fly? It's almost like, it's kind of like, well, and then it was almost just very clinical and inquisitive and not, hey man, I care about your mental health and I need you to I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting thing though, too, that you bring that up where this moment, this sticking point of my dad is Santa Claus is an interesting moment for Charlie and Neil too, because at the beginning of the movie, Charlie is talking about like, oh, I like talking to Neil. He listens to me, And so I think that's true. I think he does listen to him. And I think that he sort of guides him without being too hands-on and telling him what to think. And then it's weird because at this moment, oh, my dad is Santa Claus, now all of a sudden he is sort of butting in and telling him what to think. And it's actually driving Charlie away because he's no longer listening to him. He's telling Charlie what to think.
Yeah. And now his dad's listening to him.
Totally. Right? Yeah. There is. It's a mix because he's like, I'm listening to you, buddy. I know it's hard to keep a secret. This is tough.
Yeah. So later on, they're getting ready to fly and deliver all the presents on Christmas. Charlie asks Scott to go to Neil's house because Charlie has made something special for him for Christmas. Well, unbeknownst to everybody there, the cops are awaiting to arrest Scott. And they do. Yeah. They cuff him. They haul his butt out, handcuff him, handcuffed and everything, throw him in the back of the squad car.
Get him good.
He's gone. Yeah. But for some reason, Charlie is waiting up in the sleigh. So Charlie doesn't ever come down to give his dad the thing that he said that he made for him, which seems like a setup to me. If I didn't know any better.
Right. There was no payoff to that.
No. It's like, I left something under the tree for you. Well, why don't you come into your own house and figure it out?
Why don't you go check that out?
And Charlie doesn't say a word or let anybody know he's there at all. So, the cops leave, everybody leaves, and Charlie's huddled up. Snows on the ground, so it's presumably very cold.
Yeah.
And he's just up there in jeans, just, hanging on the roof. His mom is right below.
Chilling, not talking to anybody.
At the police station, Scott is getting grilled by what you can only describe as a supreme police intellect.
I know you're Scott Calvin. You know you're Scott Calvin. So let's make this simple. I say name, you say Scott Calvin. Name.
Chris Kringle.
Name.
Santa Claus.
Name.
Père Noël. Babo Natale. Père Nicole.
Topo Gigio.
Okay, Calvin. Maybe a couple hours in the tank will change your mind.
It's a short scene, but I liked it. I don't know.
You know what I like about that the most is that is to me the moment where he really embraced 100% his role and responsibility as Santa Claus. There's something about it. Like he's in the full beard, he's the white hair, and almost like he knew all those names, not from research, but because he's Santa. And when you're Santa, you have the history and the energy and essence of Santa in you.
Right.
And
at all times.
Yeah. And so that was kind of cool. I like that. And it seemed like he was being really nice to him. Like he wasn't like, you're stopping me from my presents, man. It's
I need to go do the thing. I also don't know why he doesn't just leave.
Yeah. Just touch the side of his nose. He'll fly away.
Just go, man. Yeah.
I don't know. He was being so patient with him.
Yeah. I guess they did establish so he gets hold the bag and then the bag transports you. But
later that turns into a different thing where he actually has side of his nose magic. I'll explain it later.
Okay, good. Meanwhile, the elves have learned of Santa's capture and deploy the weirdest team of operators this side of a backwoods militia. The ELFS, or Effective Liberating Flight Squad.
Yeah.
Consisting of several elves in jumpsuits doing backflips down a hallway for 20 minutes. Eventually, stop farting around and make their way to Scott's house to rescue Charlie. How they knew he was there, I don't know. And thanks to their jetpacks, I assume that's what they are, they take Charlie and fly him off to the police station, bust Scott out, and then make it back to Charlie's house.
Well, I thought they had a tracker in his hat. Remember they
did that.
But the hat
throwaway
was back
line
with Charlie, wasn't he?
Okay.
Yeah, it was in the house.
Again, I don't know, probably. Scott and Charlie walk in on Neil and Laura in the kitchen, with Neil making some food. Now, what do you expect a dorky psychologist who wears Cosby sweaters and talks like he's making ASMR videos on TikTok would eat? If you guessed a pita bread stuffed with sprouts, you'd be right. But again, we get another nice moment from Neil, who's the first to run to Charlie and hug his little missing ass, with his mom following behind eventually.
Yeah.
It really feels like someone realized at the end of the second act that Neil was coming off a bit too uncaring. So Charlie comes in, with Scott, and then he's like, "Mom, I'm here." And then they run down the hallway, but it's Neil first. And there's a good 5 seconds before we even see Laura come around. And they were right next to each other in the kitchen. I just thought that was, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Now, this is the first real good look at the Scott Santa evolution that Laura and Neil have gotten thus far, and they really don't seem to care. There is no reaction to the fact that this man, especially just from Laura, right? Put Neil out of it. This is the guy, you married this guy. You had this guy as kids, and now he's Santa Claus, and you're just looking at him like it's just a normal Tuesday. I thought it was weird.
Right.
Anyway, Scott finally puts a stop to all the whining that Charlie has done thus far about wanting to go deliver presents with his dad.
Charlie, I missed you, honey. It's okay. You were so worried. Oh, look at you. Look how good you look.
I don't have a lot of time.
Did you leave the gifts I made under the tree?
You bet I did.
We better go.
No, Charlie.
No.
Oh, no.
Wait, Charlie.
It's okay, Laura. Actually, I think it's a much better idea that you stay here with your mom and Neil.
Really?
But, Dad...
No buts, Charlie. I can't be selfish. I can't be with you all the time. We're a family. You, me, your mom, and Neil. And they need to be with you, too.
I miss you too much.
Come here a minute. Listen to me. Come on, now listen. There's a lot of kids out there, okay? Millions of kids. And they all believe in me. They're counting on me, Charlie, and I'm not gonna let them down. I got a lot of work to do.
So I can't be selfish either.
You gave me a wonderful gift, Charlie. Listen, a wonderful gift. You believed in me when nobody else did. You helped make me Santa. Selfish. You're the least selfish person I know.
I don't know about that, Santa. I mean, he did tell a judge when you asked him to keep a secret. So I'm just going to say.
Charlie's not the best gift giver.
Yeah. But we have buy-in, folks, at least from Laura. Neil still isn't having any of it. So inside, realities are being shattered, but outside, the cops are swarming. And as they make their way into the house, Scott rises up from the roof in Santa's sleigh, revealing himself to the whole world, or at least the neighborhood and all the neighbors that came out to watch the cops beat a man again. Scott guides the sleigh over Laura, Charlie, and Neil and drops presents for each of them. Laura and Neil each got that one special gift that they had asked for from Santa that they never got when they were kids, which led them to stop believing in him in the first place. And Charlie got a soccer ball, which would piss me off because if my dad was Santa and he gave me a friggin' ball like I'm some kind of dog or a giant cat, I would be so mad. But he's happy, so whatever, man. Anyway, Scott flies off, then circles back, leaves, then comes back again to pick Charlie up, and the two dudes fly off to deliver presents with Laura's permission, of course. So this whole movie is just about, consent in the first place.
Like the first time he asks.
Yeah.
Oh, well, if it's okay with your mom.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. You took him for a month, you jerk. So,
and that is the Santa Claus, ladies and gentlemen, the Tim Allen Santa transmogrification vehicle. What was I going to say? I had an opinion on it. I forget now. Anyway, we'll come back to that. Let's take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to jaw jack a little bit more. Matt has a bunch of facts and fun stuff for us to go over. So hang on, everyone. It's the season ender of the Buena Vista Boys. We'll be right back.
When the holidays start to feel a bit repetitive, reach for a Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry and put your twist on tradition. A bold cranberry and winter spice flavor fusion, Sprite Winter Spiced Cranberry is a refreshing way to shake things up this sipping season. And only for a limited time. Sprite. Obey your thirst.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros. Word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Charlie, oh, Merry Christmas, honey. Did you have a good time?
Great time. So fast.
Great. Oh, Scott. Nice PJs. Very festive. Where'd you get them?
I don't know.
Judy gave them to you.
Judy. Really?
Who?
Up at the North Pole.
Oh, one of Santa's little helpers.
All right, thanks for hanging around, everybody. We are back. We're going to get into it with Matt here. But I want to let you know, Matt, I went out to get something to drink real fast. My kid goes, I delivered you a Santa hat. Will you please wear it for the second half of your show?
Uh-huh.
I'm like, sure. He goes, then you'll look like Santa. I'm like, yeah, that's exactly it. Thanks, man. Thanks, kid. So now I look like you, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matt, what have you found for us, buddy?
Okay, well.
Actually, I do have a lot of gripes with this movie. You want to do the gripes first?
Yes, let's go over the plot holes, the gripes, the things we didn't like. All right. And I'll see if I can shed some light on some of it, actually, based on what I found.
Okay. So some things that bug me about this movie. This is maybe a new segment. Charlie with the dog in the sleigh. Now, not all the stuff we maybe have covered in the movie yet, but there's a point where when Scott and I think in the first initial time when Scott is in the sleigh.
Yeah, they're flying over. He hasn't transformed yet.
Yeah. And like Charlie's playing with a puppy, like a golden retriever puppy.
Yeah.
Why? Here's what bothers me about a lot of these movies. It's like, if you set up a rule, don't break the rule, right? So the presents don't come out of the bag. You reach into the bag and retrieve the presents, right? That's where they're manufactured, in the bag. It's a magic bag, right? What's a puppy doing there? Why is Santa delivering toys that he didn't make? That's the whole Santa lore. So what is a puppy doing in the bag, flying? There's no doors on this thing. There's no roof. There's a puppy just crawling around. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. It's one of those moments that's like, this was a cute idea.
Right.
No one thought for 2 seconds, does it fit into this world? Of course not.
No one thought like 30 years later, some idiot with a microphone in front of his face is going to complain about this.
And this is a problem with a lot of movies, is it's just people having the dumbest, dorkiest ideas going, hey, wouldn't it be nice? Hey, let's put some antlers on a dormouse.
You try the staple gun. Scott's bipolar attitude. And we've covered this in depth, so I'm not going to get into it too much, but it did bug me a little bit.
Yeah.
The entirety of the elves, all of the elves bothered me, mainly because they're children, right? But also they just, I don't know why, they all bugged me. I have nothing else to say to that. I have no desire to expand on that other than they bother me.
This is a thing I'll say. I'm not going to expand on it, but I will say from my point of view, the things that bother me about the elves is they're pricks.
They are kind of pricks, dude.
Like, because this guy from Chicago shows up and he's like, hey, little kid. And the kid's like, hey, I got shoes older than you, pal. And it's like, all right, jerk. I'm a human being. I don't even know what you are. Like, have you looked at yourself in the mirror? Like, are you stupid? You're old enough to know better. You look like a baby boy. And then that other lady is like, she's got this pile of leaves or something, like lettuce, to go feed the reindeer. And he's like, hey, who's in charge? You? Oh, I am? He's like, yeah, who's the head elf? You. Duh.
I love just the assumption of power there. It's like, well, I don't know. Like they're so smart where they can, do all this stuff. They can make all these toys. They run the scenes, but they're so dumb that they can't figure out that this man is going to be confused, and that they just follow who's ever wearing a red suit. Like, oh, all right. That must be like, you killed the other one. Now there's no mourning. There's no loss. There's no black wreath laid upon his bed or whatever,
Yeah.
With this presumably good boss, like great person, that's it. Next.
It's like they're so old and so smart. They're like, yeah, stupid, get with the program. Like, you're him. Like, what else do you want me to know? I just feed the reindeer.
I wonder how many Santas they've been through. So at this point, it's sort of just like old hat. They're like, all right, we lost another one. Frank, we lost another one.
Yeah, I mean, she's been perfecting that cocoa recipe for, what is it, 1,200 years? So
something like that, yeah.
That's just, they've been around too long, and they're kind of dicks about it.
This is one. Okay. The Santa Claus clearly states that he is Santa until he can no longer fulfill his duties either by accident or design.
Yes.
So that's his out, right? He doesn't want to do it. He doesn't have to do it. I'm designing. This is my design. I am not going to do this.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to be Santa. The whole plot falls apart right there. On that topic, watching it again for the 8th time, I finally realized in the scene where Barnaby is telling him, and I know I'm getting his name wrong intentionally, but
it does not matter.
Yeah. Where he's telling him about the Santa Claus, he says Scott has 11 months to get his affairs in order and he's due back on Thanksgiving. And then at the end, Barnabas tells Charlie that Scott can come visit him whenever he wants to. And I never got that Scott just wouldn't have a life anymore, that he is Santa for the whole rest of time. Is he eternal now? I don't know. I mean, I guess not, because the other one died. But like, is he going to die of old age, or if he's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand.
See, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of these are answered in the Santa Clauses.
Okay, good. Well,
right,
I can't wait
Disney
for it.
Plus.
I would have loved to get some scenes of Scott selling his house or leaving his job or something like that, because now what is he, just a missing person? Like, what happens now?
It's wild because he does that bit where he goes to work and he's fat and everyone's like, Scott, what happened to you? And he eats chocolate and garbage in that meeting. And he says that, hey, Santa doesn't drive a Panzer down the middle of the street. And then that's it. I never see him at work again. He's done.
Yeah.
You'd have no idea if he's fired, which I presume.
Yeah, of course. So this movie's like an hour 37, right? I would have loved just an extra 5 minutes just to give us some sort of direction in which Scott is moving to. Yeah. Because so far it just seems like he's passively going through with these body changes and, I'm putting on weight. I'm not going to necessarily worry about it too much, except I'm going to go to the doctor and that's it. Like, I would be beating down the walls of like Stanford Medical. Like, what is wrong with, he just doesn't. So it's fractured in that way, but like, I just wanted a little, let me rephrase. What's interesting to me more so is how Scott deals with transitioning to becoming Santa full time. Because what happens with his identity? What happens with his Social Security? What about his bank? What about his house? What about his friends and the rest of his family? What about his parents? Like, what happens to all this stuff? That's what I want to know. And it's never answered.
No, because they went high comedy more than they went like, with the details. They just didn't care. And that's fine. It's like, I get it. Like, it's the whole thing is built around like, hey, what if Santa died?
And we had some Jacques Baloo step in his place. Say,
hey. So it's like they're not really worried about any of those things. But I did think it was weird. I was rewatching it again last night, and I noticed that when Scott comes in and he's fat for the first time, and he goes to his boss, that's it. 53 minutes in. That's a little bit more than halfway through the movie.
Yeah, dude.
So everything else about him becoming Santa Claus has to happen in like less than an hour.
Yeah, it's fast. It moves fast at the end.
Yeah, it moves furious and fast. But you're right. We should have realized though that Santa Claus has a bedroom, so he must live there. But I think one of the problems is I used to make movies with a friend of mine, and he is in entertainment now. But when we were teenagers and in our 20s, he would make these movies and then he would edit them and put them together, and you'd watch them. And they were nice, they were stylistic, but you wouldn't understand what was happening. And you realized he understood what was happening because he wrote it. And but he never figured out how to get it to the screen.
Yeah.
For us to understand.
They say a movie is made or broken in the editing suite.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. 100%.
And I think it was a mix of probably having to edit it down for time, because the movie itself, its first cut was over 2 hours. So they had to cut about, obviously like 30 minutes, give or take.
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know what was in that 30 minutes, some about Charlie being bullied, stuff like that. But I don't know if there were other things about selling his house, maybe stuff that
I wanted to bully Charlie at that point. Whining little kid. My dad is Santa. Good. My dad's in jail. Leave me alone.
Have him bring you a cast. Boom. There might have been some stuff in there that they were like, okay, do we need this? Do we need to have him calling the IRS and telling him where I'm going to be?
I'm moving to Bali. That's all I'm doing. Selling his social security number to someone in front of Home Depot and be like, here you go, pal.
Yeah. But I think there is also a thing where the guys who wrote it, and maybe it's not, I don't want to disrespect them. It's a fine script, but it's like, I don't know if it was them or the people who made the movie or the director, or when it went finally into editing. And there was a thing where it's like, well, we understand what's happening with this magic.
Yeah.
But we didn't get it to the screen. Yeah. We know why he's not freaking out more about him becoming Santa Claus. Maybe there's something about the magic. As the magic is progressing, he's becoming more and more
chill,
comfortable with it, because he is becoming more Santa Claus about it.
Yeah.
It's like, how am I supposed to know that?
Or not.
Yeah.
The last point I had was, even though he woke up in jammies, the morning after so when he's in the North Pole, Judy the Elf gives him Santa's jammies, and his initials are Scott Calvin SC, but the jammies also had SC. Get it? And so Scott wakes up the next morning in these jammies, and then but before he runs out and says, or not before, but later, he goes, I don't even sleep in pajamas. I sleep naked or whatever.
Yeah.
So even though he doesn't sleep in pajamas, he still doesn't get that anything happened. He still thinks it's a dream. And even though Charlie had the same dream he did, supposedly, he still doesn't comprehend. He just forgets it. And these are 2 points that have never been brought up ever again in the movie.
Yeah.
This is my problem, right? One of many is if you're telling your kid it was a dream, but you're not going to notice that the kid had the same dream, and the kid's not going to say, well, but we had the same dream, to bring in that sense of doubt.
Yeah.
And to give kind of a motivator to oh, maybe it is true. Then the line should just go away. I don't know, man.
Well, and it's and then he's got the old snow globe. Where'd Charlie get this snow globe from? Antique Roadshow? Come on.
Yeah, and Barnaby gave it to him at the North Pole.
Yeah.
But now he carries it around everywhere he goes.
Well, and it's just Charlie, we used to make these. No one bought them. It's you didn't make this one. This thing isn't made of pewter, jackass. Look at this thing.
All right, well, that's it. That's all I had, Matt. So I turn the floor over to you. So
it's fine. They all needed to be talked about. That there is some inconsistencies in this movie. It's heartwarming, but it's you can't even scratch the surface a tiny bit.
No, you can't. No, it's not meant to.
Okay.
Like I said, I have to. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, my section is called Tidbits from the Toy Shop. Extra chocolate. More rapid than eagles, the Santa Claus came into the theaters November 11th, 1994. And on a budget of $22 million, it made 19.3 million opening weekend.
Wow.
And went on to make over 145 million domestically, but ultimately 190 million worldwide.
Not bad. I mean, honestly.
Yeah. Frickin' choice.
You basically make your budget back. And they had some really good effects in there too that we didn't really talk about, because this is one of those movies, man, that when I'm pulling clips, I only had 7 clips. And that's rare for me, because so much of it, like you were saying, was like showing, and they were just little quips and bits and bobs and stuff that wouldn't make sense for the story. And I'm really trying to refine how I tell the stories of like, let's just get to the beats and like, that's it. Right. So
yeah.
We did kind of leave some stuff out, but there are really cute little magic moments in here where like Scott's dyeing his hair and shaves his beard. Then he takes off the cap and like looks in the mirror, and it all changes back to the way it was. It's like just fun. So
yeah,
it's
for
that budget, this movie, they did an amazing job on it.
Well, yeah. And so it's one of those hard things where it's like, when you watch the movie now, all you want to do is point out what they didn't get right instead of like caring about what they did get right. Cause there was a lot of right here. All the reindeer and everything, we'll go over it, but like they were all real, everything was textural. There are only a few times in the movie where you can clearly see that I don't even know if it's CGI, because it was still so early, but it's like he lands on the roof and the reindeer are all non-moving and stiff, and there aren't even ropes attached to them. It's literally 8 reindeer and the sleigh coming in as like this one. It almost looks like a toy, like a stiff toy.
It's probably just like a animated cell over the.
That's what I'm assuming with a lot of that, but like. Then everything up close, as much as possible, is all real. It's all textural. It's living in the world with them. They're never playing across from what is essentially a ball on a stick, like in some other movies that came out a little bit later. So this was directed by John Pasquin, and he is a seasoned television director. He directed episodes of well-known shows like Growing Pains, Newhart, Family Ties, Roseanne.
Oh, yeah.
I think he did like the first 2 seasons of Roseanne. He was in it.
Wow.
And by 1992, he had directed 2 full seasons of Home Improvement.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Which is where he obviously worked with Tim Allen first. And Allen vouched for him to direct this movie. And which is, I tell you, is high praise, because it's like, this is his first feature film. So he had not directed a feature film until Santa Claus,
which is crazy because like it's such a tentpole, Christmas movie opening the couple weeks before Thanksgiving from a giant company. Like that is a big responsibility. And
I know.
he by all accounts nailed it. I mean, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, and it's not as weird as it seems, only in the fact that it's like, and I'll talk about it in a minute, Tim Allen also, this is his first feature film. So it's like first feature film for the director, first feature film for Allen, but both of them had been working together on, like the #1 sitcom at the time of Home Improvement. So it's like they had a little bit of cachet, but it is still pretty risky to take 2 television types and try to get them into a feature.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
But again, I don't know if I'd said it on the show. I don't think I had. Up until this point, the last successful Christmas movie, like where Santa Claus was the lead character, was in Miracle on 34th Street, the original.
Jeez.
And ironically, it's well, not ironically, but coincidentally, this movie came out against the remake of Miracle on 34th Street. And
wow, dude.
The original Miracle on 34th Street is playing on a TV in this movie. So it's kind of funny. Like they're watching Miracle on 34th Street, but then at the same time at the theater, November 11th, they're coming out against the remake of the movie. It's funny.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, there had been a few movies right before this. Just off the top of my dome, I'm thinking about like what is it? The Night They Saved Christmas, that had come out in the early 80s. That was about meeting Santa and Santa's workshop almost being blown up by guys looking for oil.
All right.
Yeah. A distant cousin of mine is actually in that. He's the one who's hitting the plunger. He's about to blow Santa up. And then after that, Santa Claus the movie, I think 1985, Santa Claus the movie came out. That was an interesting movie. If you've ever seen that, like, it's pretty good. Santa Claus the movie's all right, but it's kind of John Lithgow's the bad guy, and he's taking over. He wants to take over Christmas, and his company wants to make all the toys, put Santa Claus out of business.
Okay.
But so there'd been a few tentpole movies that had come out that just hadn't hit. Santa was not a big property when this came out.
No.
But so that's funny that they kind of took two people who hadn't been in feature films and they were like, what the hell? Santa Claus isn't very popular. Let's have these two guys make this movie.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because John had worked with Tim Allen on properties after this. These guys worked together for a long time. He directed Tim Allen in the movie Jungle to Jungle, and then he directed him in a non-Disney property called Joe Somebody. And I looked on the IMDb, and he most recently directed Tim Allen in his show Last Man Standing. He did, I think, like 73 episodes of that. And his newest show, Shifting Gears, he's also directing for that. So these guys, longtime collaborators.
Loves them. Love each other.
Yeah, they work really well together, I guess.
Yeah.
So speaking of teams that like to work together on multiple projects, the script for this was written by the duo Steve Rudnick and Leo Benvenuti. And these guys have almost identical IMDb's. They really, for serious, they really do. Like when you go and look at writing credits, they're basically point for point exactly the same. These guys have been working together for years, since the early 90s. They'd been writing they started together. Their credits at least start. I think they were doing stand-up together. But their credits actually begin with the 1991 revival of the Carol Burnett Show. And then they worked for Tom Arnold's The Naked Truth. They worked for the Dennis Miller Show, a show called The Second Half. The Santa Claus was their first screenplay collaboration. So now you have guy who's never directed a movie, Tim Allen who's never starred in a movie, but with a script by two guys who had never written a screenplay for a movie yet.
Yeah, so, a sold one.
So they've never, they haven't sold one yet.
Bought one. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the next year they hit again because these guys are the same guys who wrote Space Jam.
Okay. Yeah, dude.
That proves that lightning can strike twice.
Nice.
In the original script for this movie, and this might be where you're feeling a little bit of the disconnect between Scott's behavior and, how he's like, he's mean to people, but then he's like, oh, but Charlie needs to believe in Santa Claus. So in the original script, it was a lot darker. The concept really had come about as, what if somebody killed Santa Claus on accident? What would happen? What that was about. And it wasn't necessarily a Disney-fied script.
It's a good premise. I mean, it's a good premise for a movie, dude, for sure.
But when the guys wrote it, they didn't write it for Disney. It was written. It was written as a movie, not a Disney vehicle. And it was originally called Such a Clatter.
Okay,
that's the movie's original title. And so Tim Allen did an interview with Jimmy Fallon. And so Tim said the Santa Claus was supposed to be darker. The original Santa Claus was a little darker, written by two comedians. I actually shot and killed Santa in the original movie. Okay. The actor explained to Jimmy Fallon on Wednesday's episode.
That's a little
of the
much,
Tonight
dude.
Show.
Yeah.
He fell off the roof because I thought he was a burglar, he added. He gave me, he gives me the card. The whole movie starts. The kid actually starts, "You just killed Santa." And I said, he shouldn't have been on the roof when he wasn't invited. Allen then explained that the head of Disney at the time, Jeffrey Katzenberg, told him that they can't start a Disney movie with Allen killing Santa. And then Allen was saying, "I'm a comedian. Why not? It's funny." He explained, adding that he said at the time, you kill all the parents in all your other movies. And so it's a bit he's doing. He's like, well, you kill all the parents in all your other Disney movies.
Right.
But so that is sort of why the script is the way it is, because it's basically this script that doesn't mind going a little bit more hard. And then when Disney bought it, they probably went in and had a bunch of rewrites. And so they were keeping pieces that worked and then pieces that didn't. Like the script that I was reading, the opening scene with Tim Allen and his wife, they were going at each other much harder. Like they were actually a lot nastier to each other than I think obviously would have played well in any Disney movie.
Yeah.
And so I think when you have a script that was written a certain way and they keep parts and then they have to rewrite other parts in the Disney style, you kind of get this disconnected back and forth, this click, clack, click, clack. It doesn't always click together as it should.
Yeah, for sure.
So the role of Scott Calvin was originally written for Bill Murray.
Ooh.
He declined because he felt that the humor of the script did not match his style. Chevy Chase was also approached, but he actually fell out due to scheduling conflicts. And coincidentally, he starred in a Disney movie the next year called Man of the House alongside Jonathan Taylor Thomas, who had been playing Tim Allen's son on Home Improvement for the last 4 years.
That's crazy. I think Bill Murray would have done a good job. I think Chevy Chase would not.
Yeah.
I think he'd kind of lost a step at this point, but I think Bill Murray would have been pretty good. I kind of disagree that the humor, I mean, again, I don't know how much, Tim Allen had brought to the thing, but they seem it would be similar in that regard, I think.
Yeah. I my thing about it though, is that at that age, I don't think I wouldn't have looked at Bill Murray and said, this kid is your kid. You don't seem like a dad.
Okay. Yeah.
You do not seem like a person who has children or likes children.
Yeah.
Or cares about like good things that happen to them. You seem like Neil. You'd get on board and go, well, yeah, there's the one time Neil's right. And there's no Santa Claus, idiot.
Probably, man.
Yeah. Well, and also a lot of Tim Allen's back and forths and everything, a lot of it was unscripted. So they did let him play a lot. So some of that, also that disconnect from what he's saying what's happening in the plot compared to how he's talking is just Tim Allen getting to Allen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I would bet for sure, dude. Yeah.
Tim Allen, like I said, this is his first feature. And at the time he was the #1 comedy star on TV due to Home Improvement. Disney essentially built the entire marketing campaign around Tim Allen is Santa.
Tim Allen is Santa.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the way this happened, and I remember that I was 14 when this movie came out, and I don't think they were shying away from this as in like, hey, here's a movie where a guy becomes Santa. They are, Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Tim Allen becomes Santa.
Oh, for sure. No, you couldn't get away from Tim Allen in this era. Yeah.
I almost guarantee they were cutting in bits too that they had cut out later where he's going, oh, Santa Claus.
For sure. Well, I don't know if you caught it, but like when he first gets into the workshop, Santa's workshop, and Balthazar's yelling at him or whatever, he picks up a little kid's like an elf tool belt.
Yeah.
And he holds it up and he goes, he shakes his head. And I'm like, okay, come on, dude.
Yeah. Well, and one of his first ho-ho-hos is ho,
yes,
ho, ho.
I know.
Like his
dude. But that's his shtick. You got to do it, right?
Yeah. Yes, no, absolutely. That was his brand.
Yeah.
And he was going to stick to it. But it was funny because you look at his IMDb and he hadn't done a movie until this movie. And then after this movie, he is just in movies. He's still doing Home Improvement, right? But 1995, he's got Buzz Lightyear with Toy Story, and he's doing his Home Improvement bit until 1999. But in between there, he is now heavily in movies, right? He's got Galaxy Quest. He is doing films as much as he's doing his shows.
Yeah.
He came back, for Santa Claus 2, Santa Claus 3. Later, he's in The Santa Clauses. And the thing is I think that he did perfectly fine in all those movies. You can say whatever you want. This isn't about Santa Claus 2 or 3. So we're not going to go into
yes, okay, good.
the quality of those films.
Yeah.
But I do think that he was sincere when he made them. I don't think like other people, other times, other places, I don't think they go, here's a bunch of money, just come back. And he's like, all right.
Yeah.
He's now a movie star. Like this movie, after this, he is an undeniable movie star, not just a TV star. And he's been going strong in television up until even right now. Like his last show, Last Man Standing, it was on for a decade. It was on longer than Home Improvement was. Also, funny note, for 1 week in November in 1994, Tim Allen had the #1 movie at the box office, the #1 rated television show, and the #1 rated New York Times best-selling book, Don't Stand Too Close to a Naked Man.
Yeah. He was all over the place, dude.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy. Eric Lloyd is the actor who played Charlie Calvin. Eric began his career at 18 months in a computer commercial, and between the ages of 2 and 5, he was a regular on the TV series The Wonder Years. He played young Kevin.
Oh, yeah.
Then Eric made his feature film debut in Heart and Souls, playing Robert Downey Jr.'s character as a child, young Robert Downey Jr. There's a pattern here. And as if he didn't have enough experience playing younger versions of a character, Eric also played young Bruce Wayne in the movie Batman and Robin.
Oh, interesting.
He went on to be a ubiquitous presence in television and commercials, but his career really took off when Woody Allen cast him as the main character's son in Deconstructing Harry. And I remember that. Deconstructing Harry is damn good. Before filming began, Eric slipped on a boulder, knocking out a few of his baby teeth. So if it seems in the movie like he has sort of more of a baby mouth than he should, it's because he had false teeth put in.
A baby mouth.
Yes. He had false baby teeth in his baby mouth. But it's funny because his mother had the fake teeth made from impressions that she just happened to have, that the dentist made, I think, like a couple months earlier.
Perfect.
Because I don't think I had impressions of my teeth at like 8 years old. That wouldn't have been possible.
No.
So this is fun for people who have good imaginations. Judge Reinhold had some pretty stiff competition when he was cast as Neil. Jeff Daniels was almost up for the role.
Ooh.
He had scheduling conflicts.
Okay.
I think he would have been. Think about Jeff Daniels' head, but on Neil's sweater.
Yeah, dude. No,
Right?
that would have been good. Yeah.
Yeah. Stanley Tucci. I think Stanley Tucci would have been
He would
cool.
have rocked it. Yep.
Yeah. Christopher McDonald, and then Bradley Whitford. So Christopher McDonald, because you think of the name, Shooter McGavin.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Think about Shooter
he would have
McGavin.
been great.
Yes.
These are all people that would have been excellent in the role. I mean, Judge Reinhold's fine.
Yeah.
He is a kind of a milk toasty, dude. So, he always feels like a passive kind of a guy. So I
and Bradley
that.
Whitford too. That's kind of a funny connection because Christopher McDonald, Shooter McGavin, Bradley Whitford, he's the main bad guy, if there is one, from Billy Madison.
That's been a long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, he's the one who wants to take over the company, and he doesn't. He's like trying to screw Billy up from going back to school.
Interesting.
Doesn't matter, but he would have been okay.
Yeah, that's cool though.
Neil was originally supposed to be a much more villainous character for this. Like, they toned him down.
Yes. I think it shows. I think that variability shows where he was going to be more ruthless, but they toned him down, but they didn't like backpedal and just kind of they should have rewritten his character because some of that stuff bleeds through a little bit, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. So they softened him up a lot and sort of just made him annoying.
Yeah.
See, with somebody like Christopher McDonald or even Stanley Tucci, like you could have kept that script with him being a really menacing guy, really bad guy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I think they would have killed it.
Yeah.
But so I'm glad that they changed it to Judge Reinhold because he doesn't seem like he can be a bad guy.
No.
And so I think that the Neil character was weighted really well in the fact that he's not supposed to be bad. He's just kind of supposed to be annoying.
Right.
So Patricia Richardson, Alan's co-star in Home Improvement, Patricia Clarkson, and Patricia Heaton from, I think that Everybody Loves Raymond.
Okay.
They were all considered for the Laura Miller character before ultimately it going to Wendy Crewson.
Nice.
David Krumholtz, who played Bernard, the elf. The crazy thing I never realized until I looked it up, he was 16 when he was playing Bernard in this role.
Oh, geez.
Well, and if you think about it, he might have been a little bit younger. He might have been 15 because, you know, it came out in 94, but they were probably filming in 93.
Sure.
And he was born in 1978. So he's like 15 years old walking around going, I'm the head elf. Well, you put on the suit. I don't know what to tell you. Like he was, I honestly thought as a kid that he was probably like, what, like 23?
Yeah, maybe.
24,
I don't know.
like young.
Yeah.
But not that young. That was wild.
You know what's weird is I've seen over the years online, like there's a big, like, I guess erotic fan fiction subgenre of like women who at the time were younger being infatuated with his character. Like he was like, you know, it's like when you kind of look back, like, oh yeah, I remember. Like for me, it was like Soleil Moon Fry and Punky Brewster. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh man, I
love
crush
Soleil
on.
Moon Fry.
It's like that, but with him.
Oh, that's wild.
So there's a lot. So there's a lot of women that was like, oh my god, I loved him so much. Like I was like crush on him. Like he was a heartthrob. Like he's the dude. I'm like, this guy,
bro,
that's wild, man. But whatever. God bless him.
See, and I had a huge crush on Christina Ricci, and that brings me into my next point. The first place that I ever saw David Krumholtz is when he was being scared to death by Christina Ricci's Wednesday in Addams Family Values.
Hell yeah, dude.
This movie was originally going to be released under Hollywood Pictures. And this is interesting to me because I remember Hollywood Pictures. Their icon is the Sphinx with like a bunch of lines behind it. Very 90s. It's a film studio established in February 1st, 1989 by Disney CEO Michael Eisner and studio chief Jeffrey Katzenberg. Danny Elfman actually composes the fanfare for the opening logo. It was founded to increase the film output of Walt Disney Studios, very similar to what Touchstone Pictures, what they can do. Because they needed like a kind of a young, like an outlet for more edgy films.
Sure. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so the films featured more mature themes. They were targeted to adults, unlike the family-oriented production studio of the flagship Walt Disney Pictures. What ended up happening is when they kind of put the script together, Disney decided that they were going to go ahead and take over this one. They felt, you know, with the Santa, Tim Allen, everything, this needed to kind of come from a more Walt Disney angle than what was originally going to come out of the Hollywood Pictures side of this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
that's a good.
Yeah, because like Hollywood Pictures, they made Arachnophobia,
Good movie.
Encino Man,
Yeah.
Swing Kids. They made the Super Mario Brothers movie.
Perfect.
Love it. They made Tombstone, Evita, Grosse Point Blank, G.I. Jane, The Sixth Sense.
Oh my God.
So they made these good movies, but they're just a little too edgy. So what ended up happening is they went Walt Disney Studios with association with Hollywood Pictures. And then ultimately what brings us here is this movie was distributed by Buena Vista Pictures. And so that's why it qualifies even this late in 1994.
Yeah, and I was nervous too because it's only at the end, right, that it says that.
Yes.
It doesn't say it at the
and
beginning.
that's something I was going to bring up is the fact that it did not open with that big, beautiful Buena Vista Studios. And I was like, uh-oh.
That's what I said to him. Like, oh my God, did we just write a whole show for no reason?
Yeah.
And then I just skipped about and like, okay, good. Whew, man.
Yeah.
We
No,
can
at
do
it gets one little credit there at the end, which bummed me out. Because I was kind of hoping, like, I don't remember the opening to Santa Claus. Why would I? And so I was kind of hoping there was going to be some big Buena Vista Studios in like a red green style or something.
Absolutely.
but no, it's not to be. Speaking of practical effects of this movie, because I did want to touch on a few, the fat suit and the reindeer were created by the team of Tom Woodruff Jr. and Alec Gillis at Amalgamated Dynamics Inc., ADI. They built many iconic and practical creatures and animatronics, most famously the Graboids from the Tremors movies.
Yeah.
They made xenomorph suits and rod puppets and stunt heads for Alien sequels, including Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, and then the Alien vs. Predator series.
Nice, dude.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
They also supplied practical bugs and creature pieces for Starship Troopers.
Oh, there you go.
Which I'm a huge fan of. Like when they're fighting up close and you get those pointy arms.
Yeah.
They also did a lot of the animal effects, like the animal animatronic effects for Jumanji.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And close to our hearts, they worked on 2009's Race to Witch Mountain.
Okay, there you go. God bless these guys. They did great.
My boys.
Yeah.
These guys actually seemed like really funny dudes because there were 3 transitional fat suits weighing over 40 pounds each to show the body horror level Scott changed from in each scene. So it's like you have kind of fat, what's going on, what's happening. Then you have bigger morning fat. Then you got full Santa white beard fat.
Mm-hmm.
And so they had to like make these intermittent stages of fat suit. They all included a big jiggly fat butt. And I was watching.
Hell yeah.
So Alan says that he recalls the butt being so big it was 2 of him wide. Now I don't think that's true. But I was watching an old 1994 CNN interview with Alec and Tom, and they were showing off the fat suit. And Tom just takes the butt cheeks and just shakes them real hard. It's crazy.
Hell yeah, dude.
And he says, so Alec Gillis joked in that interview, after the Santa Claus promo started coming out, his father-in-law accused him of stealing his body. As we established, the reindeer were all puppets and practical effect animatronics. Comet himself had over 20 motors just to run his face.
Wow, dude.
Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it took 12 people to operate the entire team together.
Wow.
And you really take for granted that stuff, don't you?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, because everything is now 3,000 animators making something run around, you know, and it used to be like 12 people on hand right then, like holding sticks and having to coordinate stuff. Man, I miss it. The grunting sounds used for Comet were simply reused sound effects from the video game Doom.
Oh, geez, that's cool, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
The zoo where Scott takes Charlie and the reindeer follow him is actually the Toronto Zoo in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada.
There you go.
And the reason for that is because almost everything was shot in Toronto. So all of those Chicago neighborhoods, folks, are all just parts of Canada.
That's funny because we were talking about a Christmas Vacation, which also takes place in Chicago.
Right?
Well,
I know. Also, Home Alone also takes place outside of Chicago.
Damn, dude, there you go.
And that's relevant. I'll get to that. The code for the North Pole is 1239. December 1939, the character Rudolph debuted to the world. Rudolph was created by Robert L. May, a copywriter for the department store Montgomery Ward, who wrote a poem about a reindeer to use as a Christmas promotional gimmick. The store gave away 2.4 million copies of the booklet that year, solidifying Rudolph's place in Christmas folklore.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah. Now, I cannot confirm anywhere that was done on purpose. That just happens to be a coincidence if it wasn't.
Oh, the code?
Yeah, the code being 1239.
That seems...
And that meaning something.
Yeah, that's pretty deep. That's a deep cut, but it might. Who knows, man? I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, on the front of the Punch and Judy Theater in the Santa Claus room, which is terrifying. Because who is behind that? Making those puppets work. Remember, he goes in there and they're,
Well, also, why does he have a puppet theater in his bedroom?
Why would Santa want that?
Right. What adult needs this?
Dude, there is a line that I really liked from the Santa Clauses where it's his wife, right? Mrs. Claus, and she's talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And she goes, there are too many rules around this place. She's like, you know how many years it took to get that puppet show out of our bedroom? That's a pretty great callback.
Yeah.
But on that Punch and Judy stage, on the front is what could be considered a hidden Mickey. There's a circle, there's a snowflake in the center, and then on either side of that circle are these curves that sort of work like with the decoration.
Yeah.
But if you continued the curves, they would make perfect ear circles.
There you go.
So think what you will. The odd looking skateboard scooter that Charlie is on and that Scott is kind of scooting around on later.
Yeah.
I remember those from when I was a kid. Those are called rad boards.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Because it's basically 3 boards, one kind of smaller board and then 2 other oddly sized boards all put together. And you could sit on it. You could use it as a scooter.
Yeah. It was like in a U shape.
Yeah. It was wild.
Yeah. It looks
what a
weird
weird
and
product.
uncomfortable. Yeah.
And hella hard to wrap, I bet, to be honest, for Christmas. At Charlie's school for career day on the chalkboard is number 21, film technician. And it's listed under the careers. So the person responsible for writing the list included their own career.
That's funny.
When the cops are searching for Scott on the chalkboard, it shows all the squad cars are parked around the donut shop.
Yeah.
And then when they're talking about the Miller's house and they kind of pan over to the cop, off to the side, you see that one of the houses in the neighborhood has a little thing next to it that says Neighbors in Florida. And it's a Home Alone 2 reference. So there's because they went to Florida.
That's funny.
Yeah. So they're kind of talking around and everything because the whole thing takes place in Chicago. Why not just on the same frickin' street?
I guess. Yeah. Why not? Right. Hey, you hear about your neighbor who became Santa? No, we were in Paris.
Yeah. So we were panicking because we left our son again. We're very bad people. The director, John Pasquin, has a cameo in the movie. He is Santa number 6 in the police lineup. And you'll know it because he is the one who turns the wrong way from all the rest of the Santas.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty rad. So the dance that Tim Allen and Eric Lloyd and David Krumholtz and Paige Amanda, she's the one who plays Judy. The dance that they do when they're like walking down the hallway and they're doing like the arm beat to ZZ Top.
Yeah.
Right? To
Yeah.
Give Me All Your Lovin'. That was done in one take. That was just them goofing off and they kept it. They were just fooling around.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's cute.
When Scott Calvin is giving alternative names to Santa Claus to the police officer in the interrogation room, he imitates Ed Sullivan. And I don't know how many people caught this because I certainly didn't, but it makes sense now. He imitates Ed Sullivan's voice when he says, Topo Gigio, which is not a name for Santa Claus, but is actually the name of a small Italian mouse puppet who's appeared on the Ed Sullivan show for years.
That's funny.
Do you remember Topo Gigio?
No.
Have you ever heard of Topo Gigio?
Yeah, I've heard it only in a reference by the Mystery Science Theater guys. That's it.
Dude, that mouse is adorable. I went down a whole rabbit hole watching him last night. If anyone wants to see some puppeteering at its freaking finest, check out Ed Sullivan with Topo Gigio. Because what they do is there's a black background, there's this tiny little mouse, and then there's 3 different people working this mouse. This mouse is no taller than a Coke can.
Nice.
And he's got full articulated mouth. He's got blinking eyes. His arms move. I believe I saw his fingers individually moving.
Jeez.
And he's like, he jumps and he does like twirls and he puts his hands to his face. And he's this very dramatic Italian mouse. Dude, he's very cool.
That's cool.
I don't know, man. There's just like a lost art to that. Like I was impressed.
Nice.
when Laura looks at the mystery date game that she gets from Scott, because as we all remember from the movie, Neil gets a weenie whistle, which I totally love. I have a couple of weenie whistles. They're great. And then she gets the game Mystery Date. And there is a moment when she looks down at Mystery Date and the music does the first little jingle from the Mystery Date commercial.
Oh, that's cute.
And that just isn't something I found. I went and I tested it.
Oh, good.
This is Matt tested, and by God, it's true. Mystery Date. Nice. Like it really does do it, but it's so subtle that it just seems like it's the regular part of the music. Elves are everywhere in this movie. Did you notice that? Did you notice how many elves are everywhere all the time?
No.
From the start of this movie. From the very beginning, not in the office party, but when the kids are looking through the window at all the toys, like at the start of A Christmas Story, this girl turns her head. She has giant elf ears and then walks away. It's kind of a blink and you miss it, but it's on screen for longer than a second for sure.
All right.
So audiences were definitely supposed to see it.
Yeah, I did.
And then after that, there's one in Denny's. And then there's one behind Charlie during Career Day.
See, but why?
Then
that's what I don't understand. Like I saw him in the neighborhood at the end when the SWAT team comes, and then they like skip away, which that I guess I get. But like, why?
I'm going to explain it to you.
All right,
because this is why.
All right.
So they're all over. Like even when Scott becomes Santa Claus, they're like, you can see the girl who had the big thing of lettuce who goes, "You're the boss. Who's the head elf? You're the head elf." Ugh, very annoying. She's in a couple of different scenes, just standing around, like not in the background, but like not to where you're supposed to notice her.
Right.
But yeah, she's got her ears out and everything. And the reason I believe is because at the time, even in this movie, even though they didn't say it, I don't think Scott Calvin wasn't the Santa Claus on accident. He became the Santa Claus on purpose. It was calculated and set up for him to become Santa Claus. That's why they were in town. And Santa had picked Scott Calvin a long time ago. And what had happened wasn't a falling off the roof. It looked like he fell off the roof.
It was a suicide?
Because, well, as a changing of the guard.
Yeah,
and
well.
I'll explain more a little bit later because they do talk about this in the Santa Clauses.
Okay.
But it's very likely they were setting this up a little bit in this movie because it explains why the elves were everywhere, even though Santa hadn't become Santa yet. And when Scott Calvin walks away from Santa Claus, Santa's dead body waves to him.
Yeah.
He waves goodbye.
Yeah.
Is that what a dead person does?
Yes,
Does a dead person
absolutely.
wave?
Well, he had a concussion and he was dying.
He's in the thralls of dying.
Yeah.
He's like, bye-bye.
Some people crap themselves, other people wave. It's just what happens, man.
It's like, well, I don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Goodbye. But anyway, so in the Santa Claus is when you watch that, what you find out towards, spoiler alert, but what you find out towards the end of the first season is that every single Santa that had come before Scott Calvin had actually been a manifestation of Christmas spirit. So they were eternal and they were magical, like the Tooth Fairy.
Okay.
Or like Mother Nature. They were forces of Christmas spirit that had been personified.
Okay.
So they weren't human. And Scott Calvin was the first human being to ever be picked to be Santa.
That doesn't make any sense.
I don't know what to tell you. That's what they wrote.
Listen to me when I tell you this. It doesn't make any sense because that goes against the Santa Claus. Why was he picked? Why wouldn't it just be a manifestation of the fucking what?
Because the last Santa, the Santa who died on the roof, he created the Santa Claus. The Santa Clauses were created for Scott.
Why? Because
Santa had met Scott Calvin when he was a little kid, and he knew that he was going to be a good Santa.
Is this all in this in the
This is all in
TV
the Santa
show?
Clauses.
I hate it. That's so dumb.
I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, you don't have to tell me anything, I guess, but like, I don't like that. It doesn't. This is my problem when we go back with like prequels and stuff and they explain. I know this isn't technically a prequel, but like when we go back and explain things, it makes it worse oftentimes. I don't like that. That's all. But I mean, I'm not really a fan of the movie anyway, so who cares? All right. Well, what else is happening?
Like, okay, I only have one more thing, and I think this is something you like.
Yeah.
So this is something that was pretty funny, and honestly, why you need to still have physical media, by the way. Because at one point in the film, and I don't know, did you watch this on Disney Plus?
No, we don't. We don't have Disney Plus. We can't afford Disney Plus. Friggin' Disney Plus.
I'm very rich.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Well,
good for me.
And your Toyota Corolla.
Yes. The paint peeling. At one point in the film, a brief exchange between Scott and Laura takes place, in which Laura hands Scott a piece of paper with Neil's mother's phone number on it. Scott then says, 1-800-SPANK-ME. And he goes, I know that number. And this came as a shock to me because I just rewatched this on Disney Plus. And the reason I don't remember seeing this in the movie is because it is not in the movie.
I don't
in 1996. Well, no, it's not in it now.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say I don't remember it when I watched it either. And I didn't watch it on Disney Plus.
So in 1996, this line caused an incident in which a child from Steilacoom, Washington, called the number, which turned out to be an actual working sex line number.
Oh, yeah.
And incurred a phone bill of over $400 as an equivalent of $801 in 2004 money. So you can assume it's probably $850 now.
Right.
Or 12,000. So beginning with the 1999 DVD release, the exchange was removed from all future United States home media releases. So anything earlier, you'll still have it. So like if you have any early Laserdiscs or any early VHSs, which I think I do. I think my mom had this on VHS.
All right. Yeah, that's probably why whatever I got it from doesn't, it's probably older than that. Probably from the DVD. Burned from the DVD. Yeah. That's crazy. That's funny.
But yeah, so obviously it's off Disney Plus or anything. And then when it was put on broadcast television, whenever it's put on broadcast television, they changed the line to 1-800-POUND.
Okay.
I guess to go along with that pound line.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's silly.
But yeah, that's funny. So I think also, I believe that they ended up buying this number. Like I think Disney ended up buying this number.
Disney owns a sex line. That's funny, dude.
So they could put it out of commission.
Yeah.
And that is the Santa Claus.
All right, perfect. I have my final Tim Allen story, and then we're gonna go. It's probably a little longer than usual, but like I said, it's a Christmas episode, folks. We're giving you a little bit more. So, okay, like I said, my favorite Tim Allen story, even though I don't really have that many, this is the one I tell oftentimes. In 1978, Tim Allen was arrested in a Michigan airport with $43,000 worth of cocaine. This amount of weight could have sent him to jail for life at the time, thanks to some new restructured rules out there. But he cut a deal, snitched on a bunch of people, and only served 26 months. And then he decided he wanted to chase his dreams because he'd always talked about being a stand-up comedian before this. And he was dealing drugs in college, apparently, but not like a lot of weight. But when he got out of college, he got in with a few people, sold to an undercover agent, and got busted, decided to flip, and, whatever. And apparently, as the story goes, when Tim was doing stand-up comedy down in Florida, his agent unknowingly tried to book Tim at a bar that was owned by one of the people that he ratted out.
Oh no.
And the guy served 4 years in prison or something like that, opened a bar in Florida, as you do. And the guy didn't know who he was. And then the agent showed him a picture or whatever. He's like, yeah, that guy is not coming in this house. He's not coming in this area. There's no way. I'm not having him in my bar.
In fact, is it possible to get his current address so that I could pay him a visit, old friend?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly.
I bought this new baseball bat I wanted to show him.
So there you go. That's just, I don't know why I love that fact about Tim's that he used to be a drug dealer and snitch on a bunch of people to get out of some serious prison time.
He had a beautiful mustache and a feather haircut.
Yeah, his mugshot's out there.
great.
It's pretty wild, dude. All right.
Gorgeous.
Well, that is it, everybody. I want to thank you guys all for sticking with us through season 2 of the Buena Vista Boys. As is our tradition or whatever, we are going to take a brief hiatus, probably 3-4 months, and take a break and wrangle everything for season 3. And we're going to start this train all over again.
I am excited. I can't. We have nothing picked as far as I know for season 3.
Yet.
So I am really looking forward to it because there's hopefully going to be a few bangers on that list. I'm hoping something with a magical animal.
Something with
some
Dean
sort
Jones,
something about a movie where a woman has to like walk around with a book on her head so that she can get the main character to like her.
Oh, that'd be great.
Sure,
man. Why not?
Obviously, we're gonna run into Dean Jones. I bet Flubber is gonna be on there.
It can. I mean, this is the thing. This is the beauty. No one's picking it but us. If you want to support the show, if you want to support this network in general, because by the way, on the Ears Up Podcast Network, we have several shows diving into, stuff like Star Wars and Marvel and just Disney parks in general. So check that out, earsup-podcast.com. But if you want to support this show or, like I said, the whole entire network, go over to Patreon. Go to patreon.com/earsup, and that's ears with a Z. And support us for as little as $5 a month. We have a backlog of a bunch of premium content that you don't get on the feeds normally. Plus, we also have commercial-free feeds. So if you are a current Patreon subscriber, you can get an RSS link, so where you can not hear all the commercials during the the shows, which I think is pretty fun. We also have discounts on our merchandise over there. So anyway, check all that out. But the reason I bring it up, number one, is, please support us because we can't do this without the likes of you people supporting us. So thank you very much. But what we did at the end of last season, Matt, is we did a Patreon only version on Popeye the Slayer Man. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And I think we should do another one for Christmas, even though at this point it'd probably be hard to wrangle for Christmas. But there's a couple cool stuff, a couple cool movies out there that fall out of the purview of this show, but would be really fun to do. So I think we should try to get together pretty soon and crank another one of those out. So if you guys want to hear that, please join us over on Patreon. It really goes a long way to support, the networking and pay our bills, pay our hosting bills and all that kind of, the websites you need to subscribe to make shows nowadays. So, and it means a lot. So I really appreciate it if you do that. Matt, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate you, all the hard work you put in, finding all these facts. And, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, this has been a really cool season. Like season 1, it was fun. And season 2, we got to do some stuff that we didn't get to do in season 1. We've tasted some new styles of Disney movies.
Right. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, man. And it's been really cool.
Good.
I've really enjoyed it. It's I don't know how to explain it, so I won't.
That's right. It's really cool. That's good enough for me, man.
Have a Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas. Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Whatever you celebrate, we love you for it. And, go spend some time with family because that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? You take away all the old books and all the old scrolls and all the old beliefs, and it's really just about hanging out with everybody, having a good time, showing your loved ones that you care, showing people that you might not love that you still care because we're all human. You know what I mean? We're not going to be Scott Calvins, right? Let's be Neils. In a world of Scott Calvins, let's be Neils, everybody, okay?
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And until next season, we'll see you.
Do you make the toys?
No, stupid. The elves do.
Bobby, we don't say stupid, and we don't say elves. They're little people.
No, but they really are elves.
Whatever, honey.
My name is Percy Jackson. Getting in trouble is like breathing for me.
The hit series returns to Disney Plus and Hulu.
The danger is greater than you can possibly imagine.
What about Grover? Save Grover. Save camp.
Percy Jackson and the Olympians. New season now on Disney Plus and Hulu. Learn more at disneyplus.com/what's on.